Hey, what's going on, guys? What's going on this morning? Today I am up a little bit early. I'm about to get on an airplane, but I tend to talk about on this podcast anything that comes to mind. And the thing that came to mind today was this guy, Travis Scott. Travis Scott is a rapper who does this event called Astroworld. And Travis Scott's very famous, much more famous than me. And he's in a lot of trouble. And I've talked about Travis before, and I did a little update just to find out what was going on with that situation. And I had some thoughts, and I saw some things that really disturbed me. So first of all, I want to say good morning to everybody who just popped in. That's the first thing I got to do. You're more important to me than Travis Scott. But let me just dig into this. So give me a yes or no if you heard about the Travis Scott situation with Astro World, if you've been following any of it or what's been going on. It's pretty unfortunate. It's crazy. I want to say, what was it? 8 people died or 9 people? I can't remember. One of the two. And there's a 9-year-old boy who's in a coma right now. And a lot of people are asking the very legitimate question of, would you send a 9-year-old to a Travis Scott concert? The answer is no. I have an 11-year-old, and if she was to come up to me and say, I want to go to a Travis Scott concert, I'd be like, hell to the no. Even accompanied, but then again, hey, parents make their own decisions, and it is what it is. I'm not judging those parents, but maybe I am. I don't know. But anyway, here's the deal. All right, so I was thinking about Travis Scott, and I was reading in USA Today, and what I was curious about is I'm always trying to understand America and the racial dynamics, right? The thing about hip hop is an interesting sport where I would call it a sport today. Hip hop is an interesting sport because it's one of those things where they can trick you into thinking that you're not black. Is there no sound? Can you guys hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Okay. Can you hear me? If you can't, let me see. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Let me know if you can hear me. Give me a yes or no. Oh man, I hope we don't have an audio issue. Let me know if you can hear me. Give me a yes in the chat if you can hear me. Okay. All right. Okay, good. Thank you. I needed that. I saw somebody said that they can't hear me. And I was like, oh, what's going on? Is my microphone not working? So maybe your audio is not working. All right. So here's the thing, right? So with Travis Scott, and it reminds me of how hip hop is, one of those things where you can go into that space as a black man and really get to the point where you think you're white. Like you think you can get away with whatever white people get away with. You think that you're not black anymore because you've been given a special pass, right? You are, and those of y'all who follow me, you know this stuff because we analyzed this. Last night in the book club, we were reading Black Labor, White Wealth, where Dr. Claude Anderson gives you the whole history of why black entertainers are seen differently from other black people, why black entertainers are given a special pass because you make white people happy and comfortable. And if you go to an Astro World concert, let me just tell you, you're going to have to work real hard to find a group of black people at an Astro World concert. So here's the deal. So, the thing about these special sports, these special Negro passes that some black people get is that they can trick you into thinking like, okay, I'm white. I get the same privileges as white people because white people are pretty cool. They're treating me well. I'm not black. I'm OJ. Right. And then you get what Paul Mooney used to refer to as your wake up call. You know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what it was. I'm not going to repeat it because I'm trying not to cuss this early in the morning. But y'all know it was we're going to call it the Paul Mooney wake up call. Shout out to Paul Mooney. And then you realize, no, you were black all along. You just got a special pass. And so you thought you were passing for white. And so with Travis Scott, I really wondered, I was real curious to just see, okay, how much progress racially has America really made, and how are they going to respond to this? And are they going to kind of lynch him in the media? That's what I was looking for. You always look for the media lynching, and I understand it. I've experienced a little bit of a media lynching. I've had times where, like, for example, when I simply ask, why does Lizzo feel the need to promote obesity when so many black people are dying from obesity, and to, simulate sucking a man's penis on TikTok in front of children in order to get a record deal. And I wasn't talking to Lizzo. I was talking to her record label. But either way, white media went hard. They went hard. This guy's a sexist. He's this and the other. So I guess you're a sexist if you in any way defend the honor and integrity of black women. If you want black women to be complete hoes all the time and to be completely disrespected, then that makes you somehow a modern man. Well, I'm not that modern. I'm old school, and I believe that the black woman is precious, and I don't think you should have to twerk and suck a penis in order to get a record deal. I don't know, but maybe I'm the crazy one. Who knows? Anyway, so I've seen these lynchings up close. And it's very fascinating to see how quickly they will turn on you, particularly when you have put white people in danger. And most of the people that went down at that Travis Scott concert were white. There were, again, the little black boy. I did see that. Also, there were some brown people in the group. And my heart goes out to everybody. And I was really just kind of curious, like, how's this going to play out? And so what's interesting to me was I did not know this. And tell me if you don't know this, but did y'all know in 2017, there was a kid that was paralyzed at a Travis Scott concert. And the Today Show was talking about it, and he's white. And this poor kid, 23 years old, was at the concert, and somebody pushed him off a third floor balcony, and now he can't walk for the rest of his life. This dude can't walk anymore. So and he's pissed. So they went to him, right? So they went to this man who, I mean, I know I'd be pissed. You go see your favorite rapper. You don't spend your last couple dollars to go see this dude, and you get paralyzed at the concert. What the hell, man? So the guy, they went to go talk to this kid, and this is all circling back to whether or not they're going to lynch Travis, whether or not Travis could go to jail. I'm wondering if there's going to be like some jail time now. And fortunately for Travis, Texas does not have a big penalty for inciting riots. Now in DC, you can get, I think, up to like 10 years or something. I guess, because remember in DC, that's where they had all the Capitol riots and all that. In Texas, I looked it up. The penalties associated with a conviction for inciting a riot, it's usually filed as a Class B misdemeanor, which carries with it the possibility of jail time up to 180 days and or a fine not to exceed $2,000. However, in Texas, now I'm reading this from DougMurphyLaw.com. I have no idea who Doug Murphy is, so take it for what it's worth. And it says here also in Texas, however, a riot charge can be enhanced. According to Texas Penal Code Section 42.02F, if a higher grade offense occurred, either one, in furtherance of the riot's purpose, or two, as a result of what could have been anticipated, then the jury can sentence you according to the higher grade offense if the state proved the higher grade offense. For example, if assault could have been anticipated as a result of the assembly and the assault actually occurs, the riot charge could be enhanced from a Class B misdemeanor to a Class A misdemeanor, which would potentially mean more jail time and a steeper fine. So that anticipation piece is what's really interesting, because if you pay attention in the media, what you'll notice is that they're using language where they're referring to this idea that they have that they sort of warned Travis and his team that this could happen. That they were like, look, this is a problem and this could be an issue. So you got to make sure you're, like, we're worried about this, right? And also, this kid who got paralyzed from 2017 is basically saying they knew about this. They knew what happens at their concerts. Like you should have learned in 2017 when he fell off the damn balcony and couldn't walk anymore. You should have learned from that, right? So you should have anticipated that your concerts are dangerous. And then what's also interesting, this is just me kind of connecting the dots. Maybe I'm being a little bit of a conspiracy theorist here, but I feel like I can't help but wonder if they're preparing to like hang this Negro. I really do. Now, don't get me wrong. Travis Scott's a grown ass man. He's dating a Kardashian. He's clearly he's not listening to people like me. So who the hell am I, right? I'm just here really kind of observing and breaking things down and connecting dots. But also, I think it's relevant in one important sense for you, besides the fact that it's just an interesting thing to kind of observe and analyze, is there's an old saying that says a fool and his money will soon part ways. And we talk about wealth a lot and economics a lot. You guys know this. That's what my PhD is in. So I'm not just talking as a regular guy who's made money or who took a couple classes. I have taught experts. I have people that I've taught who now are professors of finance, right? So here's the deal. If you get a lot of wealth and you don't know how to protect it, you're gonna probably lose your wealth. When you get a lot of wealth, you become a big target. If you anybody who has money knows what I'm talking about. If you get money, they rappers talk about it. They say if you go through the hood shining and showing off how much money you have, then you're gonna get robbed. Somebody's gonna say, "Oh, he's over shining. Let's go get him." Right? We even play. Me and my friends, we play Call of Duty, that video game on Xbox, which is a lot of fun, by the way. And there's a game called Plunder, where your goal is to go around and rob and kill the other players. It's a very sick game, absolutely sick, but it's so much fun. And you see, like, where people have money, they tell you where the money's at. They say, "Oh, this over here, the team that has the most money is over here." Or you'll see green smoke coming up in the air, which says, "Oh, there's money over there." So that's where we go. We go where the money is, right? So basically, there are people who literally can sniff out who has the most money, and those are the people that they go after first, right? Travis Scott's in that category. Lawyers are the best in the world at sniffing out who has the most money. Why do you think Drake and Travis Scott were listed? Drake, Travis Scott, and Live Nation are probably listed in every single lawsuit that has been filed, every single one. The reason that Drake, Travis Scott, and Live Nation are listed is because they have the deepest pockets. They can get Live Nation to write them $100 million check like it ain't nothing. They can get Drake to write a check for, 5 or 10 million just to make the lawsuit go away. They're hoping Travis Scott, his net worth. I looked up his net worth. They said it's about 60 million. They could, maybe Travis Scott's team will write a certain check. Travis Scott probably has insurance. The insurance company is going to write a check. So they're going to get paid, right? They're going to get paid. Somebody dies, young white kids die, young white kids get paralyzed. That's a payday. It's no different from like Gloria Allred with all the Bill Cosby's victims. Like, they were like, "Oh, these are white women. They've got a story. We need no proof. We'll get paid. He'll pay us just to make the story go away." So with that said, I'm really baffled by this because I was reading this article about this poor kid. His name was Kyle Green, who attended a Travis Scott concert in Terminal 5 in New York City in 2017. He was 23 years old at the time, and he was pushed from a third floor balcony, and that left him paralyzed. Now, one thing they pointed out in this Today Show article, and this is where they're really messing him up for mainstream America. This is where they are, what they're doing, I think, is they're picturing him as a poster child for white people to say, "Do not send your children to a Travis Scott concert. Your children will be in danger if they go to a Travis Scott concert," right? And there are all these reports of the security guard getting the needle in his neck and all that. So what they're kind of framing it as is that the Travis Scott concerts are places that are filled with drugs, filled with violence. People get killed. Terrible things can happen. So I'm really curious to see how this plays out, because in a way, what it does is it makes a Travis Scott concert a little bit toxic, I think. Now, that toxicity could play out in a positive way. Maybe it'll make young white kids want to go to the concert more. Like, "Oh, it's that much more forbidden, so we want to go." Or it has the other effect where you got parents. Like, our son was, when he was 18, 17 and a half, almost 18, he went to Lollapalooza, right? Lollapalooza had a bunch of rappers, Tyler, the Creator, and a bunch of other dudes were there. And we let him go. But if we knew that he might get killed at Lollapalooza, we would have said hell to the no, because you need our money to go down to Lollapalooza and our permission, right? So I'm thinking, as a parent, like, I wonder, give me a yes or no. Give me a yes or no. If your child said, "Hey, mama, hey, daddy, I want to go to the Travis Scott concert," what would your response be? Or yes or no. Would you allow it, or would you say hell to the no? Yes or no? What would you say? All the parents in the room, anybody who's got children, would you let your kids go to a Travis Scott concert? Right? And I asked that question because this is happening all across America. So that makes his concerts toxic. So he's going to lose wealth because of that. I believe that. Also, there is the toxicity of just the business liability. The question becomes, think about this. Every time you do an event, there's always an insurance conversation. There's always a conversation about risk, right? To the chance something's going to pop off, the chance that, the venue's thinking, "Well, God, what's the chance that somebody might die in my club?" Right? You don't want that. You don't want that stigma on your club. You don't want that liability. A lot of insurance companies, I imagine, would probably say, we don't know if we want to insure this. Or they might say, we'll insure you, but it's going to cost you so much money that it becomes cost prohibitive. So I'm really curious to see what the business model is for the Travis Scott brand going forward after this is over. And also what was confusing to me was as I was reading the story about this poor kid, Kyle Green, who got, paralyzed at the concert, is they said that, and his voice matters. Like right now, I mean, he's on today.com. So the Today Show is talking about this dude, and every white parent in America is watching this saying, oh my God, I wouldn't want this to happen to little Chad or, baby Brittany, right? So they're all scared to shitless over this. And he said that he was extremely upset and sad for the families. And he said also he was surprised that Travis had not learned from his earlier concerts. And then also they pointed out some of his lyrics in a 2018 song called Stargazing from his Grammy-nominated album Astroworld. So remember, they give Black people Grammys. The crazier your music is, and the more toxic, I guess, the more they love you. I have no clue. I can't even, whatever. Here's what he said. He says, and it ain't a mosh pit if it ain't no injuries. I got him stage diving out of the nosebleeds. So Travis in the lyrics, again, with this whole like I don't give a fuck, kind of mindset that I guess hip hop's encouraged to have, he's literally kind of incriminating himself in a way, if you ask me. But then again, since when did you do not have rappers that would literally rap about like stuff that could get them locked up? Like I think there's dudes right now on trial on Fed RICO charges because they literally confessed on the entire album. I'm sorry, if I ever kill somebody, you ain't never gonna hear about it. I ain't never gonna do no podcast about a guy that I shot the other day because I ain't trying to I ain't never trying to have that much street credibility. Y'all will never know if I ever have to kill anybody. Just me and my woman gonna bury the body and kind of keep it moving. But here, so he's literally saying that he wants injuries at his concert. He's also saying I got him stage diving out of the nosebleed. So that's kind of a claim to fame. And you can't tell me. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. But I wonder what lawyers are thinking in terms of whether or not this is going to appear in court. I wouldn't be surprised at all if these lyrics are used in the court of law to say this dude, it wasn't just inciting a riot on the night of by continuing to perform after people were dying in the crowd. I'm not going to assume he knew about it. Maybe he didn't know, right? But on top of that, the brother was rapping about like people diving out of the nosebleed section, like, and somebody got paralyzed at your concert from falling out of the nosebleed section. I don't know. Again, maybe I'm the crazy one. Maybe this is what the world has become. I have no idea. And if somebody says Travis Scott makes trash music, I don't even know enough about his music to know. I listened to a little bit of it. I was like, okay, yeah, it's par for the course. See, remember, I've been a hip hop fan for a very long time. So I've watched the evolution of hip hop, literally going back, to when hip hop was used to actually make Black people better. And then it just sort of turned into this horrible toxic thing, which I actually think that was a CIA operation. I believe that they deliberately took hip hop. They saw how music was changing Black people's mindset, and it was actually making Black people more empowered and made Black people want to learn and become politically active and intelligent and all that, right? And then they flipped it into something that would make Black men engage in criminal behavior so that they would go fill up the prisons. And it's working. It's working like a charm. Remember, I told you guys 200 rappers died in the last year alone. Did y'all know that? 200 rappers have died in the last year alone. 200. That's a lot of rappers. That's a lot. When I heard that, I said, whoa, I couldn't believe it. I called Alicia. I said, did you know 200 rappers died? I don't even believe it. I had to watch the video where they played a music clip of every single rapper. Most of them were pretty talented. All of them did. Most of them were very young. These are your young warriors. These are your young soldiers. They're killing your soldiers because they want you to lose the war. Right? If I want you to lose the war, I'm going to kill every soldier you got. I'm going to try to abort them before they're born. I'm going to try to miseducate them when they're little. I'm going to feed them a bunch of garbage media their whole life. I'm going to train them to be a white supremacist so they'll point the gun back at you. And then I'm going to give them some music that's going to encourage them, on a subconscious level, to go out and engage in criminal behavior that will end up leaving them dead, on drugs, or just worthless to the community. So you can think that's not true if you want to. You could think that I'm just running my mouth if you want to. But all you got to do is look around your damn community and look at how many doped up, like, uneducated, lost brothers are out here that will grab your daughter, get her pregnant, give her an STD, and bounce to the next woman. Seriously, like this is a culture now, right? The men don't love the women; they don't want to marry them and all this other stuff. I'm not saying all of them. I'm not saying everybody, but a lot of the men don't. They're like, we don't respect women. Women are hoes. Just give me some pussy, and I'm gonna keep it moving. And that's kind of the mindset. That's all coming from the music, because the music is the backdrop to the culture. The music shapes everything. Every revolution has a soundtrack, right? When we were at the All Black National Convention and the vibes were super high and everybody was like loving each other and everybody felt good, the music was part of what drove that, right? The song was, I got mad love for you. I got mad love for you. And they were talking about black love and black people loving each other. And everybody's like, I love you too, right? The energy was high because the music was on a high vibration. So if the music is death music and death culture, like let's all get high together and go murder each other and go get women, go stick our penis in any toxic waste dump within a 100-mile radius. Well, then people are going to buy into that. Let's go find the nearest white man so we can give him all of our money so we can buy some Gucci bags off of him or whatever, right? Like this culture does play a part in the development of your people, particularly your men, but also your women as well, right? It changes everything and everybody, but you have to be able to see things from a different perspective to understand that. Like if you're 25 years old, you're not going to get it because you don't know any better. You've never seen what a black community looks like when black people love each other. Like you've never seen what a community looks like when you have a lot of two-parent households. You've never seen what a community looks like when a lot of black people are very educated and striving to do better things for themselves. You only see love and hip hop. And if you watch Love and Hip Hop, which is very sad to me, it really breaks my heart because the Love and Hip Hop is basically the product of the crack era, right? When they put all the crack and everything in the black community. And if you watch that show carefully, you'll notice most of those young people in Love and Hip Hop, they have these dysfunctional relationships. They come from broken households, like with one parent. And a lot of times they have a story. They usually have a traumatic story, like being black and being traumatized go hand in hand. Right? Like there's almost like a belief that if you're not traumatized, then you ain't really black. Right? So they'll tell a story. My daddy went to prison when I was a baby. My mama was hooked on drugs. Now my mama came back around, after I was 30 years old. Like think about this. Give me a yes or no. If you've noticed, like that's a common, consistent theme, right? So then when people like me come along and say, no, black people are supposed to be better. Like we can do better than this, right? We can fix these things. People start thinking that, people like me are uppity. Like, oh, you're uppity. You think you're better than everybody else. What you talking about? Two-parent households. That's not realistic. What you mean education? That ain't realistic. And if you even look at the way like some of the kids like will tweet, and it's like jump, like the words are like just all over the place. It's because white people got a hold of you when you were little, and they put you in a public school, and they deliberately made sure that you got the absolute worst education they could possibly give you because they want to keep you stupid and controlled. They want to keep you as ignorant as possible to what's happening in the world, and that's kind of the world you live in right now, right? So really, now that was a little bit of a deflection, or not deflection, but I swerved a little bit off of the whole core issue of Travis Scott, but that's what we do. The goal is to not talk about just him and his life. It's really talk about how this fits into the context of what's happening in your community. So what I would say is that here's what I think. I think that Travis could end up facing some criminal charges. I think they're going to start talking that way pretty soon. I think that he's been made into kind of a pariah in the minds of white people, like public enemy number one. I think they're gonna do a Willie Horton on him. If you remember, Willie Horton was like a black man. They boosted up as like the poster child of everything terrible and black. I think he's gonna end up losing a lot of money. I think he might lose every penny he's got. I really do. I mean, I think 8 people died. Like, how much is a death worth? Right? You might get a jury that says, he should pay $100 million for every person that died. Right. And I know you got the insurance and I know you got Live Nation and all that. But Travis and Drake, I bet you that their people are probably very concerned about them being targets of the lawsuit. And I think you might see something that might actually change the way these concerts are done forever. I don't think there will be another Astroworld type of event. I just can't see it. But then again, I'm curious. Maybe I'm wrong. I really wonder how wrong I can be. Like maybe the money is just so good that they're going to just go right back to the same model and say, yeah, hey, look, some people died. but we'll just make sure nobody dies next time, right? I don't know. I'm really curious. Like, can your economic model withstand this level of negative publicity, this level of financial liability, this level of just, this kind of death and debauchery and everything else? Because I can tell you like this, as a parent of teenagers, I would never send my child. I would not. I mean, if they went to a Travis Scott concert, they'd have to do it without me knowing about it. So don't be surprised. I'd be curious also if he's still going to be a Kardashian after all this is over. They tend to only want to hang out with like weird black men who have lots of money and stuff, so they can elevate their brand. So I think he had a baby with a Kardashian or something, and I can't explain any of that. I have no. That's just a different world from the one I live in. So anyway, I'm gonna go. By the way, don't forget this weekend in the Black Business School. If you want to hang out with us, we're doing a free event. It is an event for anybody that wants to be a content creator, a culture consultant, public speaker, social media influencer, all that good stuff. It's called Black Experts Unchained. And if you're interested, you can go to blackexpertsunchained.com. That's blackexpertsunchained.com. Al Duncan is hosting it. He's one of our faculty. Al has made millions of dollars as a public speaker, and Al is an awesome dude, and he's 100% B1. And he's the man. He's the main guy that's doing all this. I will be there because I know a lot about content creation and stuff like that. So I'm going to support. But Al's boss. Al's the boss of all of this. So if you're interested, you can go to blackexpertsunchained.com. It's totally free. So feel free to go and take a look and see if it's something for you. All right, guys. I'm about to go. Hit the thumbs up button. Hit the thumbs up, share, subscribe button. I'm out of here. If anything else happens, I'll let you guys know what's going on. I'm headed to Denver today. So I will see you all soon. Please have a great day. Talk to you later. Peace.